Hello!
Hi!
On today's episode of Lattes and Lore, we are diving into the second half of Iron Flame, where we're going to be pulling out moments we enjoyed or took note of.
Enjoyed is the word we're going to use.
Share some quotes and, some theories or things we were thinking about were happening before we got to read Onyx Storm.
Yes.
So, diving in.
Diving right on in. I'm going to start because I have not been quiet about my feelings about this book. This is not my favorite book. It's not my favorite book at all. It's not the favorite book I've ever read. But reading this book has allowed me to realize that just because a book is popular does not mean it's going to be something that I love. It does not take away the fact that Rebecca Yarros did an amazing thing, and she wrote a book, and it's published, and it's popular, and it's trending, and lots of people are reading it, and she gets to share her thoughts with the world, and how wonderful that is. It just allowed me to realize that I am allowed to not love a book.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to not love a book, which doesn't happen to me very much.
And that's a good reminder anyway, because fortunately we do have things of like book talk and Bookstagram where everyone are sharing books and everything that they enjoy, and some are sharing like, oh, I didn't love this book and here's why, like whatever, the good, the bad, the ugly. Sometimes it feels like either you should be reading the latest books, and if you don't like them, it's like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's a nice, friendly reminder. You can also enjoy the story, but not love and want to reread the book.
Absolutely. Like, this is not going to be a reread of mine. I do think that this book is a big builder for her series in general. I think that this is going to be, because if you really go back and think about other popular authors like Sarah J. Maas, not many people are sharing their love for Crown of Midnight.
No,
it's not a builder. If you think about the Harry Potter series,
I didn't like Chamber of Secrets until an adult, until I reread it as an adult.
As an adult, I love the Chamber of Secrets because I also love Half-Blood Prince. So these books kind of mirror that kind of darker, the darker time, and it is a plot builder book. You get a lot of plot in this book. One thing that I really wish this book had more of was dragon lore. And I think that's general about the whole series in general. I love getting the knowledge that I got of dragons in this book. Yeah. We love Sassy Andarna. I love Sassy Andarna. Andarna and Taryn are really what kept me reading this book.
I agree. I want more dragon lore, and I'm curious as to why we've not been getting as much since the series is called the Empyrean series.
Right. Because they're the bad guys.
There should be more dragon lore. But I'm looking forward to it. But also, it's hard. Like, when there is a series of multiple books, book 2 really has to move the story along, but also continue to build the story.
Yes.
And I think that is why a lot of people's hang up with this book is... I enjoyed it, but I wasn't like, oh my gosh. I read it quickly because I needed to know how it was going to end. It's one of those I just, needed to know. But something I did enjoy is where we left off in our previous podcast with this. I'm glad we got another group of, a team activity, a heist kind of thing when they break into the archives. I enjoyed that section of chapters because you got to see them utilizing everybody's strengths to get the job done, much like in Fourth Wing when they stole the map.
Yes.
I love it when they have to team together and it's like, okay, everyone has a role and moves with it, and you have to trust they're going to do it.
Absolutely.
Which is great, especially going forward when it's like, can you trust everybody?
I know.
Should you trust everybody?
This book sows a lot of doubt.
It sows a lot of doubt, but I think it also leaves a lot of Easter eggs that we're don't even know about yet until possibly book 4.
I don't even know.
I think some of them will make. I think some of the things in here will be like, oh wait, that was more significant than I originally thought. I don't have any of those to throw out there today because I'm like, it was a good time. But I love the Archives heist.
That really was one of my favorites because it we got to see a little bit of depth of other characters, and we all know from our last podcast, which is the Would You Rather stuff, I love side characters. They are what build your story.
Yeah, they just flavor the story
They
so
do.
much more.
They do. They give you depth into the world. And because, everybody loves main female, main male, main storyline. Side characters have some of the best side plots ever.
They do, but they add so much because especially when a story is written in the POV that the Empyrean is, it's all Violet.
Yes.
With the exception of a few, like, we get a Xaden chapter in Fourth Wing, we get a Xaden chapter at the end of this book. Like, it's just, you only see through that lens of the narrator, and sometimes the narrators kind of suck.
Yeah. It's so... like, and here's one thing we didn't say from the beginning. Here's your spoiler warning.
Oh, yeah.
We have, if you're listening to the podcast this deep in there, every single podcast is going to have spoilers in it. So if you don't want any more, we love you. Follow us along. Listen at your own risk.
I definitely say choose caution to listen to any book we're talking about if you've not read it, because spoilers are going to happen.
Hello, Ginger.
But going forward, it was such a good turning point in the story, which leads to one of my favorite sections was when Violet gets captured and is being tortured.
Yes, that is so deep. That's a deep dive in. If you can see,
if you're watching the recording, our lab is making an appearance.
Lawrence, the dog Ginger, who's a baby, said, "Here, I'll comfort you while you talk about Iron Flame, because we know it was hard for you to read." But the torture scene is... wow.
But it got that, and I love a good, dark, gritty...
Oh, it was dark, man.
Anyone that checks my Goodreads or my Fables, so we know what Lauren likes to read. Okay. But it was just...
Erica reads trash.
But it puts you in it, because it's like, you know, she's waking up, and, like, she can feel everything. Right? And, like, the smells of the dungeon and all of it. It was just so good. Okay.
We know Ginger. Come here.
She's demanding...
She demands pets. Do you want to be on the podcast?
And then it's like when she thinks she's hallucinating and Liam comes back, I was like, oh no. I was like, why are we bringing Liam back into this? Because it just brought that hurt.
I thought she was dead. I thought she was dead. Like, and I thought that, so I don't know how she was going to come back. I didn't know if she was going to come back as a Venom. I don't know how she was going to come back, but I thought she was dead.
I thought she was dying. So I was
like, this is the end of her life. Because, you know, they say you see your life flash before your eyes, and you relive the last moments, and no one really knows.
It was just wild. And he was like, no, I'm here. And she's like, oh, Malik, he's like, I'm where I'm supposed to be. Like, that whole exchange with them, I was like, oh, Liam is still keeping his promise to protect her and be there for her. And he talks her through when Dane shows up. And this is like where Dane won me over. I know a lot of Dane haters, a lot of people.
I love Dane. I didn't love him in the first book.
No. This is where Dane redeemed himself for me. A lot of other readers would say it was book 3, but this is where he comes in and he's like, what the heck is going on? Why is she here? Why has she clearly been tortured for the last 5 days? And he's like, you should have talked to me. And like, he's hurt deeply. But Liam's like, he can only see what you are thinking about. That's where she pulls up all she forces herself to focus on Resen and that battle. And Dane immediately believes her. Like, he saw it, but he was immediately, like, without saying anything, he was, like, acting like he was going to potentially murder Violet right there and stabs Varys. I was like, oh.
I know. I was like,
yes. I was like, I knew he wasn't completely bad. He was just dumb.
He did get a lot of redemption there. And then, like, I struggle with liking Dane because I didn't love Chaol, and they're kind of two sides of the same coin. But Dane is just so much more likable to me because he's not so pessimistic all the damn time.
I like Dane because I can understand he is very much like, if we can follow the things we're supposed to be doing, it should be okay.
Yeah.
Like, to a fault sometimes, he's following the rules. Yes. We already know that about him. But this whole scenario here where he's trying to, and then he's like, can you even walk? Like, we've got to get out of here. Like, his sole mission was getting Violet out, and that's when, you know, Xaden shows up, and it's just such a good exchange.
It is.
That section was so good, because he's about to off Dane, and Violet's like, no,
don't kill him.
He saved me. Please don't kill him.
Don't kill him. He just saved my life. That was good. That
whole scenario was good, and just, like, and the odd exchange with her mom.
Yes.
I didn't really care for General Sorrengail from the start of the story.
Right.
I didn't like her here where she's like, Sorrengail's walk, they're not carried. I'm like, you
bitch.
What? Like, she's...
In my head, I was like, you bitch. I'm like, she's literally half dead.
It's like, she's got hips out of place, a fractured leg, and all this stuff.
Violet is a bag of bones. What? The whole time. She's like the person you like... have to put it
Yeah.
like she's like, hello,
But
I'm
I
broken again.
I love Garrett because he always inserts such funny
He
humor
does.
to me, and other people might not find him funny, but I find his lines some of my favorites.
I think they're funny.
I need him to have more page time.
Fair.
But he's like, we've got a problem. It's a general size problem. Like, it's just like the general's holding me at knife or sword
Yeah.
point, you know.
A
But-
general says
Yeah,
problem.
you know, and like their sole focus was to get Violet out. And that's where they go through, and you know, this like basically a mass exodus of
Right.
Basgaia.
Right.
I already loved Professor De Vera and Professor Kate Ori and Professor Amaterio.
I love them.
But when, you know, De Vera and Amaterio were like, no, we're going with you.
Yeah.
And Kate Ori's like, I want to, but I'm worried about the dragons. I'm like, I love him even more. He sounds like a good dude.
I want a Kaori book, but that's fine. I want a professor's book.
Just like sidebar, a novella that like gets into their stories.
Or just like, let's write the book in not first person. Which I think that the fourth book is not going to be written in first person. But that's just...
I don't know. This series, I think it would be interesting to see it written in more like a third person perspective. But there's a reason.
There's a reason.
You can keep more secrets from a first person perspective. than
You
you
sure
with third
can.
person.
Looking at you, Resand. Looking at you, Resand.
But I love this whole section here where they're trying to escape Basgaia with a horde of dragons and riders.
Can you imagine trying to leave in the middle of the night with like...
No, it's the middle of the day.
Like, yeah, it is in the middle of the day.
Like broad
Dragons.
daylight.
Like, you're like, oh, by the way, we're stealing all the dragons.
But listen, could you imagine you're a first year who just went through threshing?
And your dragon leaves?
No, like you're going with your dragon and you have to keep your seat for like 12 plus
You're like,
hours.
oh.
And you're like, I don't even know if I can make it to the canyon without falling off. You know,
Can
like,
you imagine not being able to pee for 12 hours? Like, you're a little baby child and you haven't been trained to, like,
but
with
that's
the
a
stamina.
long time.
Yes.
I'm like, that's insane. And it was wild because so many dragons were split on
Yes.
that.
And I want to know more about
I
that.
know. Every time they talk dragon lore, I'm like, I want to know more with the dragons. Why is there a divide
Yes.
in it and everything? But those chapters would have kept me going through Iron Flame. Because I was like, okay, we've gotten out of Basgaia. We are all aware now that crap's gone down and people have been lying. And they, you know, head to Eratia. That was so good right through there.
Yes, it was.
Like,
and then, like,
oh.
and then, I feel like afterwards, like, it was such a heavy, it was like the middle of the book.
Yeah.
Kind of two-thirds in. It was such a good section. And then she had to stop and world build again. And I was like, oh, man.
It was hard because, like, you know, they arrive in Eratia and Brennan's like, why does she keep coming back almost dead? Every time you bring me my little sister, why is she on death's door? I'm like, but your little sister keeps getting involved in some heavy shit.
As the older sibling, that's a really fair question. Like, why do you keep bringing my sibling back? God, like, put them back together. Like, I would be so, and first off, I would be so mad at Violet being like, please, for the love of God,
I mean,
like, wear an elbow pad.
Like, she didn't ask to get captured and tortured
She
for,
didn't.
like, a week. So,
I always wondered, like, what Dane thought after, you know, don't they talk about Dane and meeting Brennan, seeing Brennan, and Mira?
my favorite is when Mira shows
Mira.
up. But, like, because, you know, they thought they were being attacked when
Yes.
Mira and her
Yes.
dragon show up. And, like, Violet's running out there. And I love it because this would be me if a family member of mine pretended to be dead. You show up, I'm punching you too. Like, it was like, she was
Bad.
just like,
Boom,
wham,
right
bro.
in the mouth.
He's like, oh, right in the nose. You know, like,
I
it's-
wish for anything she would have said, well, then go heal yourself.
But no, but he says, you know, it's harder to mend my own self.
I know.
Like, he's like, it's so funny, and I love that because, you know, Violet's like haranguing the chaos at that point. She's like, I need ice. I need you two to go somewhere. She's like,
I know.
and Zayden's like, oh, I'm glad I don't have siblings.
Yeah.
You know, like, he's like, oh, that sounds like a fun time.
Yeah.
But those exchanges are fun, and they're trying to figure out what to do with the several hundred cadets.
Yeah, they're like, well, I guess we have to make a school.
Yeah, like they're just having to like transition and find all that and all that stuff. So there's a lot of moving parts. Violet's still trying to be sneaky to figure out how to go to Corden.
Yes.
And I found it so funny, and I'm glad the line was in there. It's cheesy, but it's like, you're not where I left you, Violet. So
Yes.
I'm like, oh, how'd you
like,
get here?
Oh, by the way,
It was,
I was
just
like, oh,
funny.
okay.
The whole Corden exchange was wild, though, that they had a venom in a trunk.
That to me, I can't even.
I thought of Mad Eye Moody and like his trunk of like 7 locks and
Or,
everything. I was like, what?
Game of Thrones when they bring the Walker.
Yes.
When they bring the Walker
Yes,
to the Red Keep.
Yes.
And they're like, what is it called? What is the town? What is it called? It's the Red Keep, right?
They bring
To the Dragon Arena.
Yeah, to the Dragon Arena where they used to fight and stuff. It's just, yes.
Can you, in like, what? Like, they bring a Venom in a case. Can you? I just imagine, like, but here's the thing, like, in my head, I want Venom to be more like zombie-like, and I'm not talking like 28 Days Later where they're fast. I'm talking like the slow ones, like the Walking Dead type Venom. But Venom are fucking sentient. And they have thoughts and personalities, and they wield magic. And can you imagine trying to put one in a box? That's like trying to take your cat to the vet.
But that was my thing. I was like, how did they subdue it long enough to put it in the box? Because the box keeps them like, they can't touch any ground or anything to channel. I can't remember what the box is called at this current moment.
Can you imagine just like a float, like
floating in a
floating
box? I'm like,
can you imagine how pissed off you would be as a Venom? Like, you motherfuckers. Like,
but I'm just like, how did they get it in the box? Like,
see, that's the things I would think would have made this book more enjoyable for me. But at the same time, she can't include everything.
No, she can't, because then it's like too much extra stuff and not
and
enough.
then I'd complain about that
not
too.
Enough stories moving, but that exchange, but they come to an agreement to get a luminary and all this stuff.
Who's
but
a person? Wait.
No,
it's not a person.
You thought it was.
I can't remember that the luminary is an object, guys. In my head, it is a wizard.
It's because you keep thinking of Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast.
I know. I think it is a person, not an object.
No, it's an object. Or you're thinking Llewellyn, who is a person.
I know.
Oh,
I'm just like, a luminary is a wizard, and they have, like, when Voldemort takes what's his name, Ollivander, to make a wand. I think of a luminary is like a person who lumens. I don't know.
A light wielder or something.
I don't know.
No, the object they secure to take it back to Erasia so they can start making
object,
things.
guys.
An object, not person.
Object, guys. Not person.
But they also have to bring the flyers with them. This is where they decide,
yes.
This is where you see the differences between the Flyer Academy and this guy that makes you question it.
Yeah.
Because they're all like immediately, Brennan and all the old writers like, well, they have to cross some type of parapet and they have to go up that crazy cliff that's like a death march essentially. Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite lines happens on that.
Which one?
That's where Kat's being Kat, who's just...
Listen, I like Kat.
I think we will like Kat more in books 4 and 5.
She
did some cool stuff at the end of this book and even in Onyx Storm.
I think she's the other side of the coin of Violet.
I think so. Like, I think they're going to have to come together to make the plot keep plotting. But...
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Oh.
What if Kat and Violet have to come together to save Xaden?
I think there's going to be some more use of, because it's very harped on that the Griffin Flyers have a lot of other types of magic.
Yes,
that they
and they're strong in other types of magic.
So I think it's going to require... It's almost like...
It's going to require a sacrifice, and we're going to sacrifice Kat, because now we're going to sacrifice Violet.
But it's almost... I feel like it's bringing us to sidebar here for a second, like... Avengers Endgame type.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You're having to pull, like, everybody with
like, magic.
The top big important people are, like, walking the earth again, who are, like, the more powerful wielders and stuff. I think it's going to take them all to, like...
I like it.
Fix what happens at the end of this book.
Fair.
So...
Who knows what's going to happen? We don't.
Or they all die.
I think they're all dead. If I keep saying that, it makes it more enjoyable.
I love it when they're on the cliff and all this stuff goes down and Kat is trying to go off on Violet because they lost a flyer.
Yes, that scene was hard.
That scene was hard because Violet's trying to save her. Riddick gets shot. Like, all this stuff. And Dane's like, if you come near that Stormkill, I will throw you up off my cliff myself. And I don't care who your uncle is. I was like, yes! And I love how Sloane's like, I'll help.
Yeah.
Because Sloane immediately hated Kat. Like, worse than she hated Violet. Because she was like, Liam didn't like you.
Yeah.
Like, yes. That's where I started liking Sloane more.
Sloane's a good
but
character.
you know, they all finally make it to Erasure and all that stuff. So they're trying to teach all these cadets, and they're trying to figure out how to merge all the riders and flyers together, and that would be incredibly hard because they've been enemies for centuries, and all that negative, you know, stuff going on, and like, nope, we're just gonna mesh all together. And I love how Devera and the flight instructor, whose name escapes me, it's like, we're gonna let y'all challenge each other.
Yeah.
And like,
which leads to everyone's favorite scene.
Quick, you know, Kat challenges Violet. They're fighting, all this stuff. Violet is losing her mind because Kat's manipulating her. Violet's about to kill her, and Zane's like, I'll let you if you want to. But to get Violet to snap out of it, we get our favorite scene in the throne room. And the favorite line is, my house, my chair, my woman. If you haven't read it in a while, go back to that chapter. It's excellent. To read it. Everybody, this is why we like Romantasy, because we get lines like that.
We do, and you remember those lines.
Absolutely. You know that one.
You know that one. I don't know
that Luminary was an object, but you know
in my head,
the throne scene.
In my head, a Luminary is still a person. Maybe a little tiny goblin or something, but they are something. They are not an object.
Maybe there's like a light sprite that works it or something.
See? Wouldn't that make sense? And I think it's because we didn't get any inkling of what a Luminary is. They're just like, we need a Luminary. And I'm like...
It's something about dragon fire has to... Like, how I pictured it. It is some type of object, almost like a telescope-looking thing is what I picture, okay? But the dragon fire has to fire through it, and it heats it up enough to make the things that they have to make. The daggers and all that.
Oh.
For them to make. Like, somehow it, like, enhances the heat of the dragon fire.
See, that makes sense. I pictured a wizard with hands.
Okay.
Because Luminary to me... See, I'm not over the Luminary thing. That's part of the reason that I didn't like this book, because I didn't know what it freaking meant. I was just like, what do you mean, a Luminary? Yeah. I'm like, in my head, a Luminary is kind of like a blacksmith.
Yeah.
And, like, they are needed to help wield the objects.
Yeah.
It's not just an object.
Yeah, it's just, in this story, it's just an object.
I know.
There are other stories where Luminaries are magic wielders.
They
because
are.
I read one recently.
See, but now I'm like... And then when they're like, you know, what is his aunt? It's not Takaris. Is it Takaris? Kat's uncle?
Yes.
Takaris is like, Takaris has the Luminary. And I'm like, oh, he's got a hostage.
He had a Venin hostage in a trunk.
In a trunk. Listen, the Venin in the trunk is one of my favorite visuals to picture ever. Because I think that is so funny. I think that is so funny.
For Venin, I picture... was it Hafiza and Emperor's New Groove?
Yes,
that's who I picture.
Yzma's guards that are half red, half blue.
No, I picture her as a Venin.
Oh.
That's who I picture.
I picture the guards from Emperor's New Groove that are half red, half blue.
That works because it's like red, purple veins, and they wear purple robes. Like that's, I picture her because she's kind of scary looking.
She is very scary looking. Well, there ain't getting any better.
And we also know she would channel from the ground.
She for sure would.
She would channel in a heartbeat.
A llama? He's supposed to be dead.
And in the course of all that adjustment, they're also still trying to figure out how to fire the Wardstone at Erasure.
Yeah.
They finally figure out how after translating the journals and everything and imbuing it with power, which I don't understand how that worked. I never did figure that out. Because only certain writers can, and I don't know if it's just because they've not learned how to do it yet as, like, first and second years. It's, like, a third years, and...
I think we don't know because Violet doesn't know.
Yeah. Fair.
I think that's why we don't know.
That's
why I thought Luminary was a person.
Because, like, Dane was able to do it, Xaden was, you know, Brennan was, like, all these other people were able to... So it's not like a specific...
like, honed their power more.
That's what I think. Yeah. Like, they've just not covered it yet. Because you have to remember, half the people in this book are still cadets.
Yeah, they're little babies.
And that's why some of the people at Erasure were mad. They're like, you brought us kids, not actual writers, you know. Like, well, you gotta do with what you gotta do, you know.
Children that are acting like high schoolers and won't even talk to each other.
Could you imagine, though, the writers that have been risking their life for years for a rebellion and to keep it going, you brought them 100+ college kids with dragons?
That don't even know how to keep their seat.
But if you know what I mean, like,
God,
and there's like 7 writers that can teach, and then a few professors from the flight academy, and it's like, Cool.
Great.
Sounds like a great time.
This is a great... I can just imagine them being like, this is a great rebellion, guys.
I could just see, like, I'm like, I get some
the
of
anger.
it, but I get the anger big time. But they think they figured out how to fire the ward stone.
And then they were wrong.
But it was cool to see they had to pull a rider and dragon from all the breeds and stuff, which was really cool. But we keep getting this mystery, a hinting of, like, Indarna is different.
Yep. Very much.
And
Why is she different? Everybody's like, why is she different? Why is she different?
Yeah.
Why is she different?
And I don't remember when in the timeline it happens, but, you know, the whole book, Violet's been mad at Xaden over him not telling her
for the
stuff.
love of God, that makes
And
me so exhausted.
But he's like, ask me the right questions.
I'm like, don't ask a fucking question for your partner. You share information.
But also, when she's like, what's your second signet? It's like,
boom, right in the mouth.
It was great. But I was more like, what? Because Taryn didn't know.
Yeah, that's what was wild to me.
I was like, so Taryn chose Sigale in book 1, and Sigale chose Xaden. And I get why, because he could have been killed for his second signet, but it was like, she didn't even tell her mate.
Yeah.
I love when Violet's like, did you know? And he goes, no. So, Taryn's about to roast everybody because he is mad.
He is big mad.
But it was wild because, yes, he's an Intensic, and this is where I get confused on some of the things and why she was mad, because he could just read intentions.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, how does that grow as a power?
See,
because it's not mind control.
No.
It's not reading your memories. It's reading your intentions.
I think she's really set up for us to have past, present, future.
I think so.
Like, and part of that is going to play into how to rid the world of
because I think they're going to have to find out something crazy from the past in book 4.
Yep.
Knowing what we know from Onyx Storm. Even though we're not to that pod yet.
We're not yet.
That one will come much later. We're not diving into Onyx Storm anytime soon. But
not anytime soon. Not anytime soon.
We got some more fun books we're going to talk about instead. And some authors and narrators we're going to have on here. So it's going to be a good time. But it was just... So some of it I was like, okay, I don't understand why she was so mad. Like he was reading her mind like Dane was doing. He wasn't. I also would love his POV from the night she first started channeling and they're out there in the snow. If he could read her intentions, he knew what she wanted to do.
He for sure knew.
But, like, there's just certain moments you look back, you're like...
Did you know?
I'm like... Excuse me.
I swallowed a bug.
Sorry. I'm like, how much intention could he read? Could he also pick emotions or just intentions?
See, I think he can do more than he says he's doing.
But, every signet grows as you get better with it. So I'm wondering what direction that takes. Like, where in Onyx Storm is he with that signet? Where is he right now? Like, in Iron Flame with it? Because he wasn't using it against her.
Right.
He might have been using it in his favor, but he wasn't manipulating her in the process. Like, that's very apparent through there when you read it. So some of it, I'm like, okay, y'all taking it too far, like, on some things. But... it's just funny, and then you get the scene where General Melgren and Swarngale and all them are, like, trying to call them for help.
Yeah.
Because he's seeing that, like, Summerton's gonna fall and all this stuff. And then Violet figures out, like, no,
it's not.
We gotta go to Vesgaia because, like, other stuff is going down. Like, when they show up there, that's wild. Because I remember reading when they get down to the Wardstone and Jack Barlow is freaking down there with his dragon and then kills his dragon.
Kills his fucking dragon. And I'm like, you are evil. Like, not even just like, that's like in your head, like your dragons are your counterpart, but they're also kind of like your animal sidekick and like your pet. They're not really, they are not a pet at all.
Like your conscience,
but they are part of your soul. And I just wonder.
I wonder how he ripped that thread, or was it ripped because he was Venom?
And how did like Bade let him get that close?
But I think that comes down to why the Empyrean is split. Is why Bade hid he wasn't actually dead and stayed bonded to him even though he was Venom.
Yeah.
Because we know he was Venom in Fourth Wing.
Yeah, we do. We do, because he talks about his red eyes on the map.
But, like, and they saved him, and they brought him back to distract everybody.
Yeah.
Excuse me, in Battle Brief, which was also crazy and just made me hate Markham even more.
Listen, it made me hate the healer. Was it Nolan? Nolan. Not Naolan, which is another thing that there's about 57 of the same freaking names in this book. It made me really, like, hate Nolan a whole lot. Because I don't think that there's any pure intention behind that. Like, because he knew he was Venom.
I think that's the difference that she's tried to show us, that healers and writers have very different ethics. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it makes me angrier because we're nurses.
Oh, for sure. It does. It makes me...
Like,
but at the same time, in the nursing side of it, we take an oath when we become nurses to take care of everybody, regardless of what is...
But I can't decide if some things, when I read certain stuff, I'm like, I don't know if I'd care so much if I had been a nurse for the last, like, gazillion years.
I know, and it's like, everything,
Yeah.
As a nurse, and this is a sidebar, like, as a nurse, one of the favorite things that, like, nurses say to their families is when you go out, like, we are not nurses.
Facts.
Like, we are not nurses.
Yeah.
But
you try to turn that part of your brain
but
off.
you can't. You can't, because it's, like, part of your soul. Like, it's part of your soul.
But because there's a... above chapter somewhere around that time when they reveal that Barlow's alive, that it talks about the difference between healers and menders.
Yes.
Like, it hints that, like, a mender is a writer. Mm-hmm. They only follow the codex.
Yeah.
A healer
is in the healer quadrant.
Yeah.
And, like, I wish we had some more information about this, because I wonder what is really going on in the scribe quadrant.
Well, because so many of the Venom are getting in through the scribe quadrant. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'm really curious as to what's going on.
I think that there's a big ass Venom in there.
Probably.
Like a big, and they wear the hoods, and they have all, so that's,
my thing is, I just don't know how they hide the red veins unless
they're just not advanced enough.
But it's hard not to. Mm-hmm. I wonder if there's a way they can, like, almost like in other stories, they can glamour.
Yeah, I wonder.
If there's a way to, like,
because they have all the information. They would know how to do it.
But I'm saying, like, I wonder if, like, with their channeling, if they can hide that.
Probably. They probably have a venom that's their power.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, because they talk about they have signets too.
Yes, for sure.
Like
Totally
writers.
agree. Totally agree.
So I wonder if that is a power.
Listen, for us that we didn't love this book, we sure do have a lot of thoughts on this book.
I have a lot of thoughts on it, good, bad, and ugly.
I do too. I'm trying to keep the bad and ugly ones inside. But over, it's...
And there's a crazy battle that happens at Basgiath in this.
Yes, there is. The end of Iron Flame was amazing.
And not what happened with Zeta. Just, like, the last, like, chunk of this book was just a wild ride. Because
Jack kills the dragon.
Yeah, there's an all-out war going on. And, like, Violet's down there trying, and, like, when Auric steps in, it's like, I will not let you kill yourself.
And I
was like, my boy...
So when he did that, we know now, and this is a spoiler, we know now that Auric is a precog.
But we don't know when he developed that.
Exactly.
Because he was a very new writer when that happened.
I think that it happened in that moment.
Maybe.
I think it happened in that moment, and he saw Violet saving everything.
Well,
because she can't sacrifice herself yet, because she has to sacrifice herself at the end of the series.
Right. But Brennan mentions, he tells her when they're trying to decide what to do before they fly to Basgiath, because Brennan wasn't going.
No.
He
Which
was
is like, sketchy.
Like, they're trying, and he knows Violet will sacrifice herself every time. Like, it gets mentioned in Onyx Storm also.
Yep.
But I do, because, they always talk about signets manifest what you need.
Yep. And
I think at that moment, Art needed to know what to do.
I think it manifested right there.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. And then poor Sloane. Like, Sorrengail, when General Sorrengail realized she was a siphon. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what was the conversation between her and her dragon?
Yeah.
Because her dragon sacrificed himself, too.
Yep.
That's the thing that I would like to know Liam and Day's last words to each other.
I do, too.
And, like, what did Day say to Taryn? Because we all know, after reading it, that Day sacrificed himself to save Taryn.
Yep.
But I want to know those conversations.
I want to know.
That's what I want to know, are those things.
Violet and Taryn and Andarna have to have some sort of purpose to save the world from the venom. Save Erasia. Well, not really Erasia, just their whole continent.
Right.
From...
So, like, once she sacrifices herself and her dragon through Sloane to get the word stone imbued with enough power.
Which is insane.
Which is crazy. But they get it, and because Violet's about to burn out. Mm-hmm. So they save them, and, like, that's when we find Andarna's a 7th breed. So she fires... She magically has enough of all the right colored dragons. That's also a weird thing because she just walks up to Coda and talks to him like...
Yeah, just out of nowhere.
She talks to everybody's dragon, so there's something to that. Either it's actually okay, or there's something else with Violet that that's not been revealed yet, and it was not revealed yet in Onyx Storm.
I think Violet is going... So, each Erasian rider has 2 signets. I think Violet is going to have 4 because she has 2 dragons.
Well, I don't think the 2 signet thing is limited to just the Erasian
Absolutely
riders.
not.
I think it's a dragon's choice.
I think you can... I do totally agree.
And so I wonder who else has 2 signets.
Absolutely. Because I think Dane has 2 signets.
I think he will. I think he will before this. Because it would make sense to have like a more mental capability signet and a physical signet. Because it would make more sense.
I do. I think so too. But I do in my whole heart believe that Violet's going to end up with 4.
I think she'll eventually manifest the actual signets from Andarna.
Yes,
I don't think she has yet. Even at the end of Onyx Storm, I don't think that signet that she has, the extra one she gets, spoiler, I think it's from Taryn.
I think it's definitely from Taryn.
Because I don't think it's from Andarna yet. Andarna we find out Andarna is a very different breed of dragon. She's the 7th breed, which is called an Irid towards the end of this book. We also unfortunately get a Xaden POV where he's battling the Venom general, for lack of a better word, and he ends up having to channel because he's about to burn out and he feels Violet burning out and he's trying to save everybody.
And he channels.
That last scene when she's like, they get together, Violet's distraught because they saved everybody possible. Her mom sacrificed herself, like all this craziness. And she's talking to Xaden, and that's when like Zigale talks to her and she's like, giving some time. And she's like, what? And he's like, we'll stay wherever you want to feel safe and all this. I'm like, what the crap is going on?
What just happened? Yeah.
What is going on? Because we didn't know yet. And she's like, you should be scared of me. And it said his red rimmed eyes. I was like, no.
I was like,
and then we get that chapter
and then
where he had to channel. I was like, I knew at some point he'd sacrifice himself because that's just, he proved it with like the 106 scars on his back and all that stuff. But I was like, this is book 2.
Yep, this is book 2. And she's already doomed the main male character.
And, another of my thoughts was, too, she's always said it's a 5-book series. This is book 2, and they've not even made it to War Games yet. If you're going by the timeline.
No.
They had the Battle of Basgiath, and it wasn't even close to when War Games would be happening.
No. This all happened in 2 to 3 months.
Because it was right after Christmassy time that the battle went down.
Yeah.
So I'm just like...
And I in my head, Basgiath has completely fallen. And I know it's not.
Yeah.
But by the end of Onyx Storm, I see Basgiath as completely fallen or... turned.
It's in shambles.
Yeah, it's in shambles. Or run by Venom. One of the two. Which is crazy. Right. And Iron Flame, it left a lot for me. And we get the Xaden chapter at the end where he's going to talk to Jack Barlow. That was...
And he's like, welcome, brother. And
welcome, brother.
Oh, and it's confirmed. He legit. He's channeled. He's been in, oh, and then it's just done. And then, the wait for Onyx Storm was crazy. But Iron Flame as a whole, I was like, where is this going?
I know. And still, after Onyx Storm, where is this going?
Yeah, we'll have more thoughts. But it was just, I overall enjoyed Iron Flame because it gave a lot of good information. I did not enjoy the pace of the book. Mm-hmm. It felt very convoluted because we had so much world building at the beginning with
action,
some action, and then it's just it didn't pace well.
Right.
And then it felt super rushed.
Mm-hmm. The end, yes.
I'm like, you drug me on this long journey for over half of the book. And then, all the good stuff happened in, this much amount of time. And there's left a lot. But I think it's on purpose.
I do, too. But I feel like she did that with Fourth Wing, too. Because I remember reading Fourth Wing for the first time and being like, I didn't really get into the book until over halfway there.
Yeah.
But so I don't know if that's just her pace.
And I think it's, fantasy world's different. You got to build it. Like, you have to put the information out
it's a
there.
whole, and it's something that doesn't exist.
Yeah. And so I don't know if it's just, this is her first fantasy series that she's written.
It could be.
And so she's just, like, working on it. And, book 2, I normally expect to not love book 2 in most series that I read, because I read a lot of expansive series. And book 2, like, it can be good, but normally it's might be, like, my lesser of the ones I enjoy.
I usually like it more at the end.
Yeah.
Like after we get the full story, because book 2 has got your plot.
Yeah, like, it laid out a really interesting foundation, because one, I was like, who's taking over the college now that she's dead? Like, my final thoughts, I was like, okay, Xaden is now turned. How's that gonna play out?
It's like, this is my thoughts. General Sorrengail's dead. Fuck. Xaden's a villain. Fuck. Jack Barlow's still alive. Fuck. I still
don't know if the luminary is a person or an
I don't
object.
know if the luminary is a person or an object. Fuck.
I still don't have it answered. Fair. All fair. But I was like, why? I'm like, Jack Barlow's locked up, thankfully. But I'm like,
but for how long?
yeah. Because I'm like, who's guarding him? Because we already know Basgiath has been infiltrated.
Probably a villain. And it's probably the freaking Nolan. I was so sad about that.
Like, okay, he's a villain. He's still here, locked up. But all right, she's dead. Who's taking over the college?
Yep.
And all of it set up a rocky start to Onyx Storm. It was wild. But overall, I enjoyed the story. We got some fun snippets of the squad interacting with each other, and they did bond with the Flyers. Like, Kat was very instrumental towards the end of this.
Yes, and did we even talk about runes?
No.
And that's a whole, you know why? Because we don't understand them, because Violet doesn't understand them. But we could talk more about that in Onyx Storm.
I know, like, what few times they try to do runes, I think there's a reason, and Violet sucks at them.
I do too. There's got to be.
But I also think it's going to be a very pivotal problem.
I do too. It's like Feyre not being able to read. It's like Violet can't do a rune. I mean, they can't be perfect.
I know, but I'm just like, part of me, yeah. But I think there's a reason she hasn't figured it out yet. Like, there's something that's not been unlocked yet for that. And it's a lot. And there's a lot of people not technically accounted for at the end of this book.
Yes.
Because it's like, where was Mira? Where was Garrett? Where was Bodhi? Like, there was a lot, which is also the trend at the end of Onyx Storm. Where are all the people? But it was wild. Overall, I enjoyed it. And was heavily looking forward to Onyx Storm when it came out.
I enjoyed, so as I read Rebecca Yarros's book, I Fourth Wing was I kind of hill and valley with her. I did not hate Onyx Storm at all. It's not one of the most favorite book I have ever read, but I feel like her writing from the first 2 books improved so much, and I don't know if she got a different editor or what, but I enjoyed the way she wrote Onyx Storm more. Yeah. Like, the pace. I enjoyed that pace a little bit more.
I would still recommend this series.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I'm going to recommend this
especially
series.
if there's someone who reads and, like, say they read a lot of contemporary romance, but they want to, like, dabble their toes in fantasy. This is a pretty easy to understand.
It is.
With the caveat of it's unfinished. Like,
yes, it is unfinished.
So, like, maybe
welcome
not.
to the fantasy world.
Right.
The series is unfinished.
And you have to wait a while before they come out most of the time, you know. But it's still one I would recommend. Absolutely. Because it's an easy to understand. You pick it up and you can read through it and you're like, okay.
Absolutely.
I typically would say I would listen to the audio because it does move a little faster when you get to listen to it. And then we also get the lovely Teddy Hamilton voicing Xaden Ryerson. And that man is an excellent narrator.
Yes, he is.
But thank you for joining us today.
Like, subscribe, follow, comment all your thoughts. Tell us if you think that our opinion about Iron Flame is wrong. Let us know. We like to talk about things like that.
Yes.
Please give us a new perspective of why you liked it. And I love that. Share your thoughts.
Potential thoughts, theories, things that you have. And as a hint for our next pod, new achievement, we have finished Iron Flame podcast. We will be discussing Dungeon Crawler Carl.
New achievement.
Next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.